So this is Real Talk with Claudia and I have Kelsey Renteria today with me from Hogan Homes. This is our 4th episode. I knew I was going to lose count. 4th and 5. I don't know. I said it on like the first one. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to keep these up. So I thought it was very important to have Kelsey today with us because she has a lot of good information for these coming weekends. But first, how are you?
I am so good. How are you today?
I'm doing good too.
Good.
So tell me about you. So what do you do with Hogan Homes?
So I am the sales manager for Hogan Homes. I started working at Hogan Homes about 9 years ago. I actually started out as the sales and marketing assistant.
When you were like 12 or what?
I'm 30, Claudia. So
Well,
I was 21. It was my first job out of college.
Oh, wow.
And I actually was buying a house with Hogan. So that's how I found Hogan. Our first house was a Hogan home. And shortly after we closed, I started working here. And I was not interested in being in sales. I wanted to go into marketing. Obviously, eventually I made it to sales and I became a sales counselor and then I was a sales trainer and now I'm the sales manager here.
I feel like we all start there because like I'm in sales too. And I remember growing up always saying like, I'm never going to be in sales. Like I do not want to be a salesperson. And then, doing loans is like you sell. Like,
it doesn't sound as nearly fun as what it really is.
But it is fun.
So fun.
So 9 years for a long time. I hope Ventura is listening to this and then he could start after college.
You could be here from 10
years. 9 years later. And tell me about Hogan Homes. So Hogan Homes, we have several builders in town, but I feel like they're ones that have been here for like ever.
Yeah.
So how long has the company been?
So Hogan started in 1966 in Victoria, Texas. We were founded by Al Hogan in Victoria, and his mission was to build a really safe home. That's what he started doing, and there weren't builders like that in Victoria, so he kind of thought to himself, like, I think I could do this. Let me give it a go, and he did. And we came to the Coastal Bend area in sort of the late 90s. And we've been here ever since.
Wow. So 1966.
So we're 54?
54 years.
Yeah.
How many subdivisions do you guys have?
So currently we have 7 open subdivisions. We've got 4 available models for you to walk through. So you do kind of double up in some areas that don't have model homes. But we've got 7 available ones right now.
And they're all like kind of like
they're all scattered. So our most north is going to be Rockport, Texas, and then our most south is going to be sort of the Flower Bluff area of Corpus Christi.
Cool. And what is the process? So I feel like there's a lot of, I guess, I want to use the word stigma, but I don't know if that's an actual good word.
There's some stigmas.
Right? Yeah.
There's some stigmas.
So about new construction.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people think like, oh my God, I need the 20%. Oh my God, it's super more expensive than actually buying an existing home. Yeah. Or, oh my God, it's going to take forever for me to move in. So what are some of the things that you hear that maybe we can, tell people so that they don't feel afraid to even actually maybe even try to see if that's something for them.
So I would say the first step is to obviously get a great lender, which they can find with you. But again, a lot of people do think it's really time consuming. They're worried about the time that it's going to take to just build.
Right.
So I would say Hogan really streamlines our process. We try to take a lot of the guesswork out of it for people. So what happens a lot of times, especially when you're building a home, is you get really overwhelmed. And that's what people are afraid of. Everyone's busy with work and kids and all those other things. Why do you want to spend 10 hours of your week trying to build a home? So Hogan takes a lot of the guesswork out of that. So we have specific things for you guys to pick, kind of a wider range. So everyone has different taste and different things like that. So we try to definitely appeal to different buyers and different people for stuff like that. I will say the time frame is a little bit longer than what we've been used to in the past.
But that's just like COVID, after COVID and all that. Yeah, right.
I mean, you can't buy anything right away anyway. So, I mean, that's a little bit longer, but I don't see that being a huge issue. It gives you guys time to save and to kind of, see what the market does. So I think that's sort of a pro for us right now.
What about price wise? Is it comparable to existing homes, new construction? What is your take on that?
I would say it's definitely more comparable to resale homes. There's a lot of builders in town and we're sort of in a section all our own. So you have some builders that are building, 250 and sort of starter homes, and then you have more custom builders. And Hogan isn't a custom builder. We're not going to necessarily compete with custom builders. So we're sort of in a middle bracket all our own. So we're not exactly a starter home. We're, typically second time homeowners, and you're still going to get kind of the luxury and the fancy stuff.
It's funny because there's like, I've always like, as a lender, you kind of like talk to people, and I've always said, okay, you have your track builder.
Yeah.
And, the track builder is like literally every other house is the same house. And I always make this joke. I'm like, you get drunk one day, you come back home. If you go,
you don't know where you're going.
Yeah. It's like, you'll feel right at home. And then you have, I feel like Hogan, then you have the custom build, which is like everything from scratch, pretty much your own like floor plan and everything. And then I feel like you guys like sit right in the middle.
We're right in the middle.
Where you guys can like still have some of the freedom of the custom build, but you get the help of like having already something established.
Yeah, we're sort of semi-custom.
Okay.
That's what I like to say. So they can make changes, they can pick their colors, but we're not going to move walls and change roof lines and crazy stuff like that.
Correct. So, I mean, you have some freedom, but you're not on the first end. You go more towards the costume, a little bit to the costume. Now, I know that for me, it was super scary when I was when we were building a house. Even though I'm married to the builder, he was like, "Oh, go and pick this, go and pick that," and I was like, "Dude, like I don't even know." And then I was like super excited when they would put it up because I would not remember what I picked, and I would be like, "Oh, that looks
I
cute."
did a good job.
Like, yeah, well, you picked it. I'm like, well, yeah, but I didn't remember that I picked that one.
Yeah.
Do you guys help the clients
We do.
when they're going through that process?
Our sales counselors are all trained to kind of help with that process. Now, what I will say is we are not going to live with you guys, so it doesn't make a difference to us what you pick. So, I mean, we'll advise as much as possible. Usually, if you guys have sort of a vibe in mind, they're all pretty good about saying like,
this, you can go this.
Yes.
What has been the craziest thing that you have like in your 9 years that you might say, you don't say names, Kelsey, but that you might think or remember like, oh my God, I remember like this person picked this color. I mean, what's the craziest that you have seen?
It's really hard for us to build an ugly house because we have good like neutral colors, but I will say someone picked a gray exterior color in our exterior palette, and it was a gray that we had never seen in real life. And man, that gray was purple on that house. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna hate this. And they came by and they loved it. And I was like, okay, it doesn't feel purple. She was like, it does, and I love it. I was like, okay. Amazing news. I'm glad you guys feel good.
You're like, we're not gonna have to repaint the whole house.
So I think that was probably the worst one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many salespeople do you have?
So we have 4 sales counselors, and then I'm sort of in the field as well. So 5 total.
So you have 5, and they're on different subdivisions as well. What are your hours? When can people go and look at the houses?
So we are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. You can try and schedule an appointment. If someone's available, we'll try and make that work for you guys. But Wednesday through Sundays are our true days, and that's 10 to 6.
Okay.
And we're 1 to 6 on Sundays.
Okay. Awesome. Tell me a little bit about, so I heard, and I've been part of it. I've been part of it for like the longest time, but there was some changes with the Parade of Homes.
Yes.
So tell us what's the Parade of Homes. Because a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's like crazy, but people don't know what the Parade of Homes is.
So the Parade of Homes is something that builders associations typically in your cities put on. So it's a time for builders to be able to build a showcase home and kind of show off their best sort of work.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing it at least for as long as I've worked here. So almost 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
In the past, you have had to purchase a ticket. You don't have to purchase a ticket this year.
So it's free. So if you don't have anything to do this weekend, and I know everybody's like super scared because they're like, oh, like rates are high. Dude, I know it's still a good time to buy a house.
Definitely.
So it's free.
It's free.
Where does it start? How many houses do you know how many houses they're having this year?
Yep. So there's 12 houses in total.
12 houses.
The furthest away is going to be, I think there's 2 in Port Aransas.
Okay.
And then the London area of town is kind of going to be the furthest south. The showcase home is on Lannister Street in King's Landing, which is in the London area of town. So I would start there. That's the first house. And then you can kind of go from there. All homes that you guys visit should have booklets, which will have maps to show you where everything
where
is.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cool, I like to go just
It's so
see.
fun. It's
like,
so fun to just get ideas.
Kind of like you leave and you're like, oh my God, I want a new house. And it's just like, oh, why didn't I put this in my house? But it's fun to do it.
Yeah.
How many houses do you have?
So we have 3 houses total. So our first one is going to be 2657 Lannister, which is going to be on the same street as the showcase home. So that is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, and that's a for sale house. So that one's for sale.
What's the price?
It is $399, $475.
Okay. So how much is the payment for that? $399. Keep telling us, and I'm going to tell you how much is the payment on that.
Our second home is going to be 2401 Blessed, which is our newest model home. So that one is not for sale, but we just opened up a Flower Bluff subdivision. So that's our new model home. Also,
where is that at?
It's right off of, if you head towards the island, you'll exit Flower Bluff Drive. And you'll just go all the way down Flower Bluff Drive, and it's on your right-hand side. It's beautiful. It's a nice big open floor plan, 4 beds, 3 full baths, and it's a cute little subdivision. Nice, and I think there'll be like 50 houses total, so nice and quiet.
Oh, so it's not gonna be that many. Yeah.
No, it's right off the highway. So if you work at the base or anywhere off SPID, you have nice quick access. And then our third house is 9212 Nisa, which is a 3-bed, 2-bath. And that's going to be in our Annabelle subdivision, Tolosa Reserve. That is also for sale at $304,990.
That's on by Royal Oaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So off of Rand, Morgan, and Leopard.
So you have that's good.
Yeah, we have a variety of price ranges, areas, all that good stuff.
So on an FHA loan on that house, it's about $3,600.
Okay.
A month.
You guys heard it here first.
That's with 3.5% down payment. So you have all those 3. They're gonna be open, and it's 2 weekends, right?
Yes. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week and next week.
Oh, it starts on Friday?
Tomorrow, girl.
Oh, I didn't know that they open. And tomorrow is from what time to what time?
11 to 5.
11 to
all
5.
3 days, 11 to 5.
Oh, I didn't know that. We had the schedule for Saturday and Sunday. I didn't know. We're going to be on site. Actually, my whole team is going to be at the Parade of Homes. We're going to be there, trying to prepare people or just answering questions.
Yeah.
I think right now, I was on a call and they were saying how, rates are higher and people are like, well, is it still a good time to get a house? And it is. I feel like right now houses, I feel like sellers, do you want to tell us a little bit about the incentives that you guys are doing?
Yeah.
So
we are doing a 2-1 buy down currently with Claudia, which is an incentive for us. So that's something that the seller pays to get you guys into that house. We are willing to do that on anything that closes this year. And Claudia is going to kick in $2,500 towards closing costs to be able to get us in something by Christmas.
The 2x1. So for example, on that payment, on that $399, on the $399. So let's say you were to get that house, your payment on the first year would only be about $3,100 instead of the $3,600. So the reason why they're doing this is because it helps you, yes, that payments are higher, interest rates are higher, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we hear that every day. But the first year, your payment is going to be lower with the hope that next year you refinance before you actually even get the higher payment. Mm-hmm. So that's how you're helping. And so going back to, is it a good time to buy a house? A lot of people are actually saying well, yes, it is a very good time to buy a house because prices are, I wouldn't say going down.
No, but I think they're plateauing.
Yes.
And we're not going to see the big increases that we've seen.
Exactly. So they're not going up that much. So you can get a good house, a good price right now. Is it a good time to get a mortgage? Actually, from a mortgage loan officer, the right answer is no, because interest rates are higher. However, who has $399,000 in a checking account to go and buy the house cash? We need to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
So it's not longer is it a good time? I mean, the reality of the matter is that housing is not a luxury.
Yeah.
It's a necessity. So people are still going to try to do it, we can help you get that payment affordable in different certain ways that we can do it. And then you can always refinance later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So now tell me, where are you from?
I am originally I was born in Dallas, but I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that story. I was like, what? And Kelsey has a twin.
I do, a twin brother. His name is Dylan.
Where does he live?
He's still in Virginia.
Oh, really? Do you go and visit?
I don't go. It's very far, Claudia.
Like, well, it is, but does he comes and visit?
He comes here a lot.
Visit?
Yeah.
Do you get that, like, he's sad and you feel that he's sad and then you call him, or?
Not that we're so far away, but growing up, I always felt like, oh, I know what he's thinking. I don't think he felt that with me. So I was probably making it all up. But I felt that growing up. I'd be like, you don't know anything.
He's like, I'm not thinking about that, Kelsey. I think you're thinking we have to play. No, Kelsey, I'm not going to play with you. Do you have more siblings, or is it
it's just the two of us?
Oh, really? Just the two? What about your parents?
So my mom just has a brother, and then she has step siblings and half siblings.
So you guys were the first twins?
Yes. My twins are common on my dad's side. So there are twins that have been born after us. So there's a set of 2 twin girls and a set of 2 twin boys. So we're the only boy girls.
That's crazy. That's fun. Did your mom dress you up alike, or?
He was always in like the boy version, and I was in the girl version.
Okay, you promised to send me some pictures of that, because I want to see that. No, I remember when I saw that post, I'm like, wait, what? You're like scrolling on the phone, like I'm like, oh my God, she has a twin. I texted Britt, I think, to ask her. I'm like, did she have a twin?
Yep.
She's like, yeah, they're not kidding. I'm like, oh, okay. So now tell me about, what is your favorite thing about working for Hogan Homes?
I would say my favorite thing is just the people. It's such a family environment. You guys have it here too. It's just such a good group of like motivated, really driven people. Everyone's always in a good mood. And I think it's really rare to find people that you feel good around, especially at work, because most people's jobs are like awful. And I'm always happy when I go to work, even if I'm in a bad mood, like getting ready, or I'm tired, or my dog pooped, or whatever.
I don't think I've ever seen you unhappy. You're always this bubbly like person that you're always smiling and laughing, cracking jokes. I've never seen you
Sometimes
mad.
it's not real, but I'm glad I'm faking it well.
I need to call Anthony and say, how is she when she's mad? I'm sure that he has stories about that.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
He's the one that's always in a good
mood. And tell us about Trey and Diana.
So Trey and Diana are the owners of Hogan Homes. They're married. And what's funny is Trey was actually a superintendent when I started. So Trey and I were partners. I was a salesperson and he was my superintendent. So we always say how fun it is that like we've kind of grown up in the ranks together.
In the company.
And Diana is our CFO, and she is amazing. She's so smart. She knows any question that you ever have. So
I love Diana because she always has a notepad. And
she's
a pen.
Always taking notes.
She's always prepared. I remember like when we were talking about possibly becoming a preferred lender, and we went to have lunch, and we're having lunch, and she's taking notes, and I'm thinking, am I supposed to be taking notes too? Or like, what is she taking notes about that? Like, I'm like trying to be very like, okay, what am I going to order? Is she going to take a note about my lunch? Like,
she's like that in real life. She'll come into my office and I'm like, you're taking notes. Am I supposed to be
taking notes?
Yeah. I'm not taking notes.
She's super sweet. But no, I mean, I think it helps the environment at work. I always tell them, we spend more time at the office
than your home,
than at your house. Like you spend way more time with the people that you work with than when you go back to the house. You pretty much go back, have dinner, and
go to bed.
Then that's it. Go to bed. So anything else that you want to add?
I would just say come out to the Parade of Homes. It's a great event. It's so fun. Even if you're not in the market, you get good ideas if you want to renovate or just talk to people. I mean, it's just such a fun time.
We're going to have some little goodies there for you guys. You want to say the 3 addresses again? 4 addresses. You have 4.
So we've got 2567 Lannister, 2401 Blessed, and 9212 Nisa.
Oh, so you have 3.
Yeah, 3.
You have 3. Okay. And the main house was in Lannister.
It's on Lannister. It's a little bit further down than ours, but all the houses, they're easy to find because they'll have those big feather flags out.
Right.
And then they'll put out directional signs too.
So they have like the flags. They have signs to show you where to go. And it starts tomorrow from 11 to 5, and it goes for 2 weekends.
Yep.
You just like literally told me I have to work tomorrow from 11 to 5. I didn't know that.
Big week.
But I need to like go and change that. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Fun.